Good evening, and welcome to the Safer Foundation television show. My name is Anthony Lowrey. I'm Director of Policy and Advocacy at Safer Foundation. Safer Foundation has been a nonprofit organization providing institutional and community-based employment and educational services for people with criminal records for the past 38 years. Tonight we have two very exciting guests to talk about new opportunities for people with criminal records. Our first guest is Jonathan Brereton, and he's the Executive Director of ACCION Chicago. Welcome to the Safer Foundation TV show, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, Jonathan, tell us about ACCION Chicago. What does your organization do? And for our guests who don't know, how does micro lending work?
Sure. ACCION Chicago is a not-for-profit organization. We're located in Pilsen, but we're an organization that ultimately tries to provide access to capital to small business owners to help them start and expand small businesses. So the mission of the company is to help individuals that can't access traditional financing. These days, that's a lot of people, certainly, because banks have really pulled back their lending, but to provide small loans, our average loan size is about $9,000, to entrepreneurs to help them start and expand businesses and create jobs, ultimately.
Okay. First of all, describe your partnership with Safer Foundation to provide micro lending to people with records. Why this project? Who is the funder? And what role did Congressman Davis play in this initiative?
Absolutely. So ACCION started talking with the Safer Foundation and several other partners about a year and a half ago, and we've been working to put together a program that will help formerly incarcerated and those with criminal records to start and expand businesses, the same as what ACCION typically does. The program was funded by Congressman Davis through an earmark that went through the SBA and then through the city of Chicago to provide funds for not only the loans but ultimately for training and to help Safer to identify the candidates that will go through the program.
Okay, thank you. What are the benefits of microlending?
Ultimately, microlending is it takes what is the normal market-driven small business lending models and expands it beyond what a profit-motivated institution would do. So we make loans that ultimately are not money-making loans. The defaults on the loans we make are a little bit higher than they would be at a bank. We work with a lot more people to identify the ones that we will fund. And the small loan size is one of the issues also. So when banks prefer to make larger loans because it takes just as much energy and effort to make $1 million loan as it does a $10,000 loan. Whereas for an organization like ACCION, we're willing to spend that time to make that $10,000 loan knowing that we're not going to make money on that transaction.
Okay, expanding on that, Jonathan, as far as you talked about the number of people you have to go through to get viable candidates for the program, what are typical numbers as far as if you're trying to get, say, 20 people who qualify? Oh, okay, we have a caller. Good evening, Safer Foundation. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Could you speak a little louder?
Yes, I'm here. I have a question. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur, and I would like to know about how would I go about getting a small business loan?
Certainly. So you can visit our website, which is www.ACCION that's all one word, accionchicago.org. And there's an application there on our website. You can also call our office at 312-275-3000, and somebody can help you. At least we can take your application. Certainly, we make loans up to $25,000. But if we are not the best fit for you, and if there's somebody else that would be a better fit, we can definitely get you to those people as well.
Okay, thank you, caller. Again, Jonathan, as far as the number of people, typical situation of trying to find, say, 25 good candidates, what are typical numbers of the number of people you would have to?
Last year, in 2009, we worked with 2,200 different small businesses, and we funded 170 of them. So that's 1 out of 13, essentially, of the people that we work with that we make a loan to. We try and get all of those individuals, the 2,200, we got all of them we try and refer them to whatever's next for them. Sometimes it's credit cleanup, sometimes it's taking an entrepreneur training class, whatever the case might be for them. We try and get them to the next step if we're unable to fund them at that time.
Okay. We have another caller. Thank you, caller.
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur here in Chicago, and what I would like to know is that pretty much do you do it off the business credit, or do you do it off the individual's credit when you're trying to give loans for entrepreneurs?
Certainly. It's the individual's credit is the main basis for us. That, again, is one of the areas where we're a lot more flexible than a traditional lender would be. So if you know credit scores, our average credit score 2 years ago was a 580. This last year it was a 615. These days, to get a bank line of credit, you probably need a 720, 740 credit score. So our typical client is well under the traditional bank credit score.
Okay, thank you, caller. Jonathan, give us some examples of past successes with micro-enterprise clients.
Certainly. So we had a client that came to us that was referred by the Safer Foundation that ended up getting his peddler's license and selling things as a peddler on the street. He now sells at a flea market. He's been a great success, has taken an initial $500 loan, and within 12 months of getting that loan, he was making $5,000 a month. Just a guy that hustles, that took the 500 and turned it into a lot more. Another client that we made a loan to, a $10,000 loan to just recently, that repaired her truck. So she drove a semi, and the engine had broken down, and she needed to repair it and didn't have the funds to do that herself. There's that one. We also had a client that does mobile car washes. So she goes around and cleans the iGo cars all over the city, wherever they're parked. So ultimately it's all over the place industry-wise. We've done a lot of daycares, a lot of lawn care businesses, a lot of different, almost any type of business that you can think about.
Jonathan, what has it seems like very exciting opportunities, but as far as the people receiving the loans, what has the reception, the spirit from the clients who you've been able to help?
That's a very good question. Ultimately, that's what I see us doing more than anything, is really empowering people, helping people that have the American dream, that want to pursue it, that the typical profit-motivated institutions are unable to help, allowing them to really pursue their dream and chase their full potential. That's really what we're doing.
Okay. Big question here. How is micro lending and your clients' businesses faring in this tough economy?
This is a tough time for all small businesses, ultimately. Our clients, given the small size, our average client has 5 employees and has revenues of about $500,000 or less each year. In this kind of economy, it's very difficult for them. That said, our clients have been very resilient and have done very well. So our portfolio our loans are a little bit more delinquent. We're having a few more losses, but at the end of the day, we're content. I think our clients are working very hard and doing everything they can to survive, and that's makes us happy ultimately as their lender.
Okay, thanks. What type of people do best with micro-enterprise opportunities?
It's a good question. I think there's people that are entrepreneurs and people that aren't, is my sense of that. I've seen studies that say it's 1 in 10 or something like that are truly entrepreneurial. For me, it's people that work hard, people that don't quit, that don't give up, that have some skill and that want to chase their little piece of the pie. In a city like Chicago, you only need 0.1% of the market to make a very good living. And we want to see people that are going to work hard, that aren't going to quit. You write a business plan, it never ends up the way you think it's going to end up. So people that are resilient ultimately is what I think makes a big difference.
Okay, Jonathan. Backtracking a little bit as far as the historical perspective, in the time that we have left, how long has ACCION been in business? The number of people they've served?
ACCION has been around since 1994, so we just went over. 1994. So we just went over about 15 years. We've funded more than 2,000 different businesses in that time, and more than $16 million dispersed.
Okay, Jonathan. Last question. In the time that we have left, what are some tips for people who are looking for entrepreneurial activities? And again, the ACCION contact information and website.
Sure. So tips, I think ultimately the big thing that is always hard for me to see is people that haven't done all their research before they get started. So we see individuals that'll come to us that signed a lease 3 months ago and now don't have the money to make the lease payments. Do your research before you start. That's one of the biggest things that can protect you from serious difficulties, from losing your savings and ultimately not being successful. Our contact information, again, 312-275-3000. I was about to give my extension. And my extension's 106 if people want to call that. And our website is ACCION Chicago, ACCION Chicago.org. And again, feel free to contact our office. We would be happy to help you. We have 5 loan officers that can answer just about any question you have and help you take the next step with your business.
Okay, I'd like to thank you on behalf of Safer Foundation, Jonathan, for providing innovative programming and exploring new opportunities for people with records to earn living wage employment, become their owners of their own business. I think it's a great job that you guys are doing at ACCION.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity. We're very excited to be working with Safer Foundation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm in error for not giving everyone the title of our show this evening, and that is our micro enterprise show. And our second guest is Kim Casey, project manager of Merit. And here's Kim's title for everyone to see. Okay, thank you, Kim, for being a guest tonight on the Safer Foundation show.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, Kim, please tell us about the Merit Project. How does it work? Who is it for?
Okay, well, the Merit program is for individuals with criminal backgrounds that live in the city of Chicago, and the purpose of the Merit program is to provide them with an opportunity to start their own businesses and have access to capital and resources just like everyone else. How does it work? It actually works through their agency in which they have a case manager and they are putting together their reentry plan. They will get information through their case manager about how to participate in the Merit program.
Now, the Merit program, I hear you say case managers. These for people who are just getting out of prison?
Could be a combination of things. It could be people just getting out of prison. It could be people who have been out of prison and still looking for that way to participate in the economy.
Okay. Kim, who are your partners in the project?
Currently, right now, our reentry partners are the Chicago Police Department, and Safer Foundation is providing a lot of the support. We'll be looking for additional reentry organizations to partner with us to identify participants in the program. Our business support partners is ACCION Chicago, DePaul University Coleman Entrepreneurship Center, the Prim Lawrence Group, and the Service Corps retired entrepreneurs.
Okay, Kim. What type of training and support will clients receive?
Perfect. They're going to be getting a lot of training and a lot of support, more so than probably a typical entrepreneurship program. Right now, we've dedicated a 10-week intensive entrepreneurship course that will be dedicated to them, where they will meet once a week to work on various aspects of their business. During that same time, they'll also be receiving business counseling, business coaching advice, one-on-one and in group sessions, as well as after they've completed the 10-week course, they'll be assigned a business mentor that will continue to work with them to ensure the success of their startup business, and then partnering with ACCION to provide some loans to the individuals once they graduate from the 10-week program.
Okay. What are the goals of this project? Why are people with criminal records? Is this a reentry strategy?
Absolutely a reentry strategy. The goal of this program is actually to start 50 small businesses demonstrating that people with criminal records have a capacity and a commitment to their own community to be economically viable. And so this provides them with an opportunity so that they can participate just like everyone else.
Okay. What do you do? What do you personally hope to see come out of this effort?
What I personally hope to see is that we begin to shift our thinking in our communities about the individuals coming home from the institutions and about what they can contribute to our own neighborhoods, and not only our own neighborhoods, but what they can contribute to our local economy versus some of the things that we always stigmatize them as or stereotype them as. So ultimately what I'm trying to do is change the mindsets of people in our community and the way that they think about people with criminal backgrounds.
Okay. I think we have a caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, I'm an ex-felony, and I was trying to...
Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah, I'm an ex-felony, and I was trying to call about how to own my own business.
Okay.
I'm listening. I'm an ex-felony that's been out for like a year or two, and I'm trying to go about how you run your own business.
So you need, from what I'm hearing, you need information regarding the training program to start your own business?
I would say...
Would they give me any assistance, any help?
Yeah, absolutely. What I would say is a couple of things. One of the criteria for being in the program is that you are connected with a nonprofit agency and working towards a reentry plan. So what I would have you do is to possibly call me so that if you're not already working with an organization, that we can get you potentially working with Safer Foundation and then get you through the ACCION program that we're doing called Merit. The other way that we can get you to participate is you can participate directly with ACCION. But my phone number is 312-341-8748. 312-341-8748. And that way I could talk to you directly, get a little bit more information about what you're trying to do, and then make sure I match you up with the appropriate resource.
Okay, thank you, caller. Kim, tell us about a success story.
I got several success stories, and that's why I know that this program will be pretty powerful. One success story is organization.
Let's try and take this caller.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Caller.
Yes, I'm just wondering what type of businesses are you looking for?
Okay, good question. Right now, we're looking for just about any type of business. As Jonathan mentioned earlier from ACCION Chicago, when we talk about micro enterprise, we're looking at the full gamut of businesses. And probably one of the things that I'd like to do is to steer some of the participants in the program to start thinking about the environment and green, since that seems to be a really predominant message now, and will ultimately, I believe, be its own industry, just like information technology is today, which it wasn't 15 years ago.
Okay, thank you, caller. Okay, success stories, Kim.
Okay, so a success story, there's a company that was founded in 1999 called Small Quantity Packaging. She received $500, and all she had was a shopping cart and the $500. And basically what she did was worked with families that had family members incarcerated, and she would put together care packages for them. And now she's making, I think right now she's at about $50,000 a year and looking to operate in multiple states because she sees that there is a need for that type of service. Now, a more local example would be an individual that I know personally who started a transportation company about, I'd say 7-10 years ago, and all he had was his own car. And then from that point, he ended up getting more clients to now he has a van and has been contracted by one of the major grocery stores in the area to manage the rest of the drivers for that store. And so what I'm also trying to do with this program is to help people be realistic about some of the businesses that they should go into.
Okay, Kim. people with criminal records, if they have an interest in entrepreneurial starting activities, starting their own businesses, what should they do?
Well, I'm going to give my number again, which is 312-341-8748. They should call me directly. If they have a case manager or they're working with like North Lawndale Employment Network, Safer Foundation, any other organizations that provide reentry strategies, then they should be contacting their case manager, asking their case manager about the information. But I'd say first and foremost, give me a call, and then we can determine how to connect you to the appropriate resources of the program. 312-341-8748.
Okay, Kim, as far as in looking at this innovative new programming, when did the momentum begin and the push start to engage people with criminal records into micro-enterprising activities?
Very interesting. It's actually fairly new, looking at micro-enterprise as a reentry strategy. I'm going to say within the last 5 or so years, you're starting to see more and more organizations come on par with this. Right now, there's about 15 programs across the U.S. that are saying they are doing micro enterprise for specifically the reentry population. And so, because this is fairly new, the data out there is really hard to grab onto to say what type of success it brings. However, what I try to do is link it to some other data that's out there that talks about poor and low income individuals, and saying that there was a research study done about 15 years ago that said the welfare population, 7% of the total welfare population was primed for micro enterprise. And so if we look at that, we can determine that within this whole reentry strategy, that we probably got about 10, 15, maybe 20% of that total reentry population is primed to have their own businesses. We just need to be able to provide them the tools and the resources to do that.
Okay, thank you, Kim. This is a really exciting opportunity, I feel, for people with records, as far as people who are getting out of prison or people who have criminal records that may be 10, 15 years old. They face continuous discrimination from employers trying to earn a living wage, trying to take care of their families. And it's really exciting as far as the new innovative approaches that we're seeing on the show tonight between yourself and Jonathan. This morning we have a caller. Caller?
Hi, Kim.
Hello.
I'm an ex-offender, 12 and a half years in a federal prison. And I've been out for about 2 years, doing relatively
Could you cut
well.
your TV down a little bit, caller? You're kind of echoing in here.
Okay, let me.
Cut it down a little bit so we can hear you.
My question is that if I have my own business plan, and will your company kind of look over the business plan and offer me guidance on how to get financing? And my idea is to have a free clothing store for at-risk youth in the Chicago, Atlanta area. It's kind of like my way of giving back.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. And what I would say is to definitely give me a call, 312-341-8748, because if you already have a business plan, I would definitely connect you directly to ACCION so that you can begin meeting with one of the loan officers to determine how much money you need, what other types of resources you need, and just figure out how to work with you.
Okay, thank you, caller. Kim, in the short time we have left, what are the most important tips that you would give someone who's searching for a business opportunity, trying to start their own business that will grow for future success?
Absolutely. I usually joke and say that if anybody typically comes to me and says they want to make $1 million and drive a Hummer in 12 months, that's not going to be the way to start the business. I want people to be realistic. I want them to come to me with a passion idea, something they can eat, breathe, and sleep 24/7, and then we'll help them figure out how to start it up. And I think people really need to understand that they need to take baby steps. So be realistic and take baby steps.
Okay. Again, we'd like to thank both of our guests, Kim and Jonathan, for providing wonderful, new, innovative information regarding entrepreneurial activities, micro-enterprising for people with criminal records. Again, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. If you need additional information regarding micro-enterprising or for any program that provides education, support, job training for people with criminal records, please call the Safer Foundation at 312-922-2200. Website is www.saferfoundation.org.